All right, we're here for another Chupacabra Games Modern Monday. But got some visual effects for the first game. Little hasty one though, as we see Brinker playing the Mardu Goryo's Vengeance deck that he was playing before the Faithful Saluting ban, or the Simian Spirit Guide ban, excuse me. But he has brought it back, some new tools, and trying to win the game as early as turn two, I believe. And against Will playing Amulet Titan, which is also a pretty powerful deck that can achieve some pretty fast wins, especially off of an Urza Saga Amulet of Vigor start here. But Brinker having the prismatic ending, I think he boards up to four total of those. Will having another amulet in an expedition map, so probably good of Brinker still to even get rid of um, the first amulet here, because if Will has a bounce land plus any threat, we're looking at either a large crisis, a cultivator, um, or just the primeval titan that is gonna get through and probably just win the game with multiple amulets in play. Will have a colorless floating here, and then be able to produce a green from the forest, and two amulets off of one bounce land would mean 4 mana, so that would get him up to 6. Being able to cast the Titan, and then from there he could go for the 20 damage combo there, getting Boros Garrison, Slayer Stronghold, and then Vesuva, um, and Sunhome, and that is exactly 20. And if Brinker, I don't think is playing Solitudes or anything, so he may just die here just as quickly as Will died last game. So we'll take a minute to see what Will's gonna fetch for. I do believe he only has 3 cards left in hand, so pretty specific set of things to do here. But it looks like we're gonna find Talaria West with the floating mana in the forest off of Expedition map. So Will probably has bounce land plus ramp spell. Any of them, I think, get him here. If even Arboreal Grazer, if you have a green bounce land in hand. Okay, Simic Growth Chamber is gonna make 4 mana. Pick up the forest. We're gonna transmute again. So I think Will has another bounce land in hand and is hoping to kill on turn 4. Yeah, finds the Summoner's Pact. It should be it for this turn. And we'll see if Brinker will untap on turn 3. Here is Cathartic Pyre. He's going to be able to discard some cards. 2 Ilhargs, it looks like. Brinker will untap for turn number 3. And here's a Goryo's Vengeance off the top. Here's Goryo's Vengeance Emrakul. Goryo's Vengeance will get back the Ilharg, then the Ilharg gets back the Emrakul. And that's gonna do it for round number 1. Brinker gonna take it 2-0 over Will. Pretty much just a drag race matchup here. Um both players trying to win the game as fast as possible. And Amulet, while a little more consistent, is a turn or two slower. And we see Brinker catch a bit of luck here and be able to pull off the turn 3 and the turn 2, finishing up round number 1 in just about 10 minutes. I'll see how good his luck, uh, how far his luck will go tonight. In the future rounds, we do see some endurances and unlicensed hearses from Will, but not drawing them will make it. So Brinker just wins the game here. And we'll try to find another match here for maybe a slightly longer match here for round number 2, for round 1 still. All right, we are back. We have found a second backup matchup, and we have found a second commentator here.
Hello, it's me, Robert Brinker, also known as Jam Stoneforge.
The man on the camera.
Yeah, the person who just did that that nastiness to Will.
Someone had to do it, and you sleeved up Gorio's, so you
Yeah.
did the thing. Are
Yeah.
you playing Fable in your deck?
You know, I made this list before Kamigawa came out.
Oh, never been updated.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that
Like,
seems like a good home for the card.
Yeah, like back in I think it was December of last year. I was like, wait, I realized that to replace the old Mana Monkey, we have a new Mana Monkey in Ragavan. So I just literally took my old list and initially had just slotted 4 Ragavans into it. And then I was like, wait, I can play white cards now. Prismatic Ending exists.
Yeah.
So, and then also Thrilling Discovery is also pretty good when you're, sometimes paying 7 with Gristlebrand.
That's fair.
So, and it's better than Cathartic Reunion because you don't have to pitch first. So, well,
Sure.
sort of better than Cathartic Reunion. Sometimes you want to pitch first. But yeah, whatever. But yeah. So then I ended up updating it, and no, I just completely forgot that Fable of the Mirror Breaker exists.
Well, it's a little weird for your deck because it's 3 mana.
It would probably be that instead of Monkey. Yeah, but the deck is kind of built to go a little bit longer because of that. Actually, what I would do probably, because like I do have I am on 21 lands. I would probably cut I have the 4 Manamorphoses are still in the deck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I
just don't need to be in there. Yeah.
Not well, maybe. But it like
you are a 3 colors.
Yeah.
it allows you to put ending higher too.
Yes, I'm a 3 color deck, and I have 4 white sources. So I have no basic planes.
You probably don't want that. Yeah.
No. Because I only have 5. I have 5 white cards total across the entire 75 because it's 7 white cards total because it's 4 ending, a 2/2 split, and then 3 copies of Thrilling Discovery.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you have the play lines.
Yes, I'm not going to cast those.
With Metamorphose, you could.
That's fair. I am much more likely to cast the Land of the Void.
Well,
although
both are.
I guess Sanctity would be the one I'm more liable to actually want to cast.
Yeah. Because Void usually doesn't do much. Even if you get to that point in the game,
I don't think I would really be bringing in Void against Murktide.
Probably.
I would be bringing in the 2 guttural responses and the Thoughtseize.
The guttural response.
Yeah. I had 3 before I put the deck together tonight. I had 3 leftover 3 open sideboard slots that I was still trying to figure out, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do 3 Thoughtseizes, and then I was going through like some of the cards. Going through some of the cards that I had set aside for putting this deck together, and I noticed I had guttural responses, and I was like, oh, well, I can't find the second Beseju I need, so I guess I'll just cut the Beseju and put 2 guttural responses in.
Yeah.
And so it's 2 Thoughtseize, 2 guttural response.
Sure.
So 2 blue decks.
Yep.
Blue-white control and blue-red Murktide.
Looks like the Narset deck won the first game. I'm not surprised there.
Oh, is he on the Narset?
Yep.
Days Undoing build? Okay.
Yeah, Narset super good stopping letter shredders or even like just the consider is making that awkward, and then also forcing baubles to be correct.
Yeah.
On your turn,
Yeah.
could make things
Boost velocity. Yeah. I was gonna build this deck actually. And then I realized I was missing almost all of the subtleties. And the Narset deck. I was gonna build a Narset deck, and I realized I was missing almost all of the subtleties. I have 1.
Okay.
And I'm also missing 13 mana Emrakul. I have 7.
I don't know.
I have 6 or 7 copies of 15 mana Emrakul. And I have 0 13 mana Emrakuls because I traded away the one that I had when it was still legal in Standard and was like $30.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're like 80 now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
I don't know if it's super good in the blue white deck because like just don't play that many lands. It's a weird control deck. Like you don't get that many lands in play, I feel like, and the game actually ends relatively quickly.
It's for the control mirrors, right? So like you're gonna get land and instant and sorcery and planeswalker and maybe land, instant, sorcery, planeswalker. I think also so if he's running the list, the most recent list from the guy who played this at the Mundelein Energy.
Oh,
His
yeah.
most recent list is on George. I couldn't remember if that was his name or not.
I believe so. Yeah.
I knew it started with a G, but I couldn't remember beyond that. That guy. Oh, just show up. Yeah, I think his last name is Jabber.
Jabber.
Yeah. But if he's playing his most recent list, he has 3 or 4 Shark Typhoons in the sideboard. And since those are also cards you would bring in against control. So reasonably, you can get 5 card types into the graveyard and get it down to only being 8. And 8 mana is not that much in a
I
control
think it's
maneuver.
honestly. Like, I mean,
I guess with
game's-
Teferi
the
being a
game's
card, but like,
this, yeah.
but you also have Shark
One
Typhoon to answer
endurance makes
Teferis.
it cost 13 again.
Yes, but like you're not playing Snapcaster. They're not gonna if they don't expect it coming.
No,
they're
I
not
think-
gonna
I think
endure
you
you.
bring an endurance. Because it's a flash creature.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
flash creature.
I don't. Okay,
deals with
sorry.
Narset.
Let me rephrase. The first time, at the very least, I don't think you're getting targeted with the endurance because you don't
think
you don't
so?
really want your opponent to be able to shuffle. I mean, they might have some fetch lines in there that are dead, but you don't want them shuffling like counter spells and the planeswalkers you've countered or killed
Yeah.
back in, right?
Probably. I mean, maybe there's a memory deluge or something that's pretty unlikely, but
Yeah, I
you
don't
know
think he's
about the
running
Emrakul.
Deluge at all. So yes, if you know about the Emrakul, then yes,
I think it's
it
very
makes sense.
It's in a lot of the lists.
I don't think it. I mean, I think it's only in the one version of this deck. I don't think he's running it in either of the. In any, he wasn't running it in any of the Stoneforge builds. And
No, that list is bad. The
Yeah.
Stoneforge version of this.
hey now,
You're a rock star.
Yep, this is what dreams are made of.
Get your game on.
Play.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember any of the rest of that Hilly Duff song. So
There isn't anything else. Bubble?
you're right. It is. I just remembered the whole song.
Yeah.
And it is just hey now. This is what dreams are made of.
Yeah.
Over and over and over.
It's not
again.
much. How about you? Okay, so Kai having turn 2 Ledger Shredder without a mystical dispute from Aquino, looking pretty strong here, so might see an ending come down.
Mayhaps. Hi,
Or some
getting
way to do
0 information with Aquino cracking that fetch land.
As far as headquarters, though, do we think Aquino's on any Veil of Summers?
I think it's just in there for increasing prismatic endings.
Probably.
I know again, assuming he's running George's list, there's I know he was for a period of time running 2, I think. Veil of Summers. But I
Yeah.
think I think his most recent build with the Emrakul on the sideboard cut it.
Okay.
So
Had to make room somehow.
Yeah.
So Aquino had the option of Chalice of the Void on 2 here or Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace. I believe Kai's on DRC and Aquino might have seen those
Yep.
from game 1, so I think Rest in Peace might be a little stronger there, but
Yes.
Chalice is also gonna lock Kai out of a lot of lines.
I think
Most notably like Spell Pierce to deal with Teferis or Narsets, but it doesn't
looks-
have much.
think it looks like Aquino has 3 Supreme Verdicts in. Oh no, that's a prismatic ending. Okay. So he has 2 Supreme. He already had a Supreme Verdict in hand, so he's
Yeah.
not concerned about being able to answer any number of creatures that may come down from Kai. So
Flusterstorm, doesn't Kai have Counterspell now?
I don't know. Oh. The yeah now. I might be playing around. Kai might be playing around Chalice.
I suppose.
But Fluster still gets through Chalice.
right.
So
Some of it
also
does, yeah.
yeah, some of it.
Well, Kai's using a lot of resources just to
Escape the threat.
I mean, it's just gonna die with the verdict, yeah.
Yeah. I think the reason Aquino slammed the Rest in Peace first is because Kai was tapped out. It's less likely to get countered, and you would rather have the Rest in Peace. Aquino would rather have the Rest in Peace stick around on would rather make sure the Rest in Peace gets into play, because then you can't build into a Murktide after a Supreme Verdict. because the Supreme Verdict could clear any number of creatures.
Right.
Rest in Peace is now just locked out every Murktide forever.
Yeah, basically just forcing like a petty theft or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of answer to get the Rest in Peace, and it's even only a temporary answer. So
Yeah, I would say a Ragavan into stealing a prismatic ending, but that's not going to work anymore either.
no, yeah,
There's now with
the
with
Chalice
that
on
Chalice on
one
one.
resolved. Yeah.
Yep.
Wakino
Short
doesn't have
mana.
a second white mana.
Also, just a
Or
fourth land in,
well, this is what I'm
general.
saying about these blue white decks. The newer builds like just don't have as many lands, and they just don't. They don't need that many lands either.
They also just don't have the ability to dig for them. Is the other
Yeah,
thing,
They're
but
not,
also
they're
yeah,
not
doesn't.
playing opt or
There's a
consider-
Jace the Mind Sculptor. We're gonna see a counterspell,
counterspell,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, which Kai cannot answer. So
Yeah.
all right. Realistically, should you be just slamming Jace there into 3 open mana? Your opponent has to have something.
Oh, Aquino drew another land, but it's not a white source.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I would assume Kai has some other threat in hand. Hopefully another Jace. I feel like that's really the only situation. It looks like Kai's going to try to trigger Connive here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
If
the
they get
spell
the
will be,
point of damage across, it's
technically
good.
the spell would be countered and put into exile first.
Yeah, get a Murktide out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
This doesn't
way
make
back
the clock faster unless Kai can trigger Connive again.
Or if
Or
Aquino cracks a fetch. Yep.
Yeah.
Although if Aquino cracks a fetch, we're getting a white source, and then the Shredder's dead.
Kino could throw a subtlety under the bus here.
I
don't hate it.
I
mean,
he's
if
only
you-
on
if you-
one. Chase Redder's at 2.
Probably
Murktide. 1 or 2.
One or two. I think it's just one.
All right. The problem is then you run into the problem of if Kai has counter magic, you've just thrown away the subtlety. Oh, looks like
That was after.
we did this after damage. Interesting. And Aquino just ripping a prismatic ending.
Yeah, that's really good.
All right. That's
Kai with no response either. I think only one card.
Yeah.
One card in hand.
that's stability. I mean, with the chalice down, there's no threat of being bolted out. There's no Ragavans being dashed in here.
Mage's Charm though.
Probably the best thing to have sitting in hand.
You can steal a chalice.
Yes, you could. And then get worse game rules violations when you miss the chalice triggers.
Yeah.
Or when the chalice triggers get missed.
Kai definitely just gonna draw 2 here. Still not out of it 100%, but it's
I think if
with a lot of hay pieces from Akito, it's looking pretty rough.
I think there are. I don't think it's 100% that Kai's gonna draw 2 here. If Aquino slams like a planeswalker, I think Kai will probably try to stop that from hitting the board.
She said chalice for 2.
I think you have to counter that, right? Yeah,
Probably.
because if that resolves,
You don't have shredders.
yeah, all of your win conditions are gone.
Yeah.
Oh, it also stops petty theft,
There might be subtlety that Kai brought in.
subtlety, or maybe brazen borrowers also.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, pretty much all of your
Brazen Borrower is
conditions are
probably
gone.
the best draw here, right? Maybe this card.
Yeah,
Passive iteration.
that because that finds you a brazen borrower.
Ideally, yeah. It found a spell pierce. Oh boy.
Super good at that chalice on one.
That was a pretty bad EI.
Yeah, that looked like double land spell pierce.
Yeah, not what you want to see this late into the game.
Not particularly. And there's a Teferi, which is gonna probably lock things up for Aquino, realistically.
The 3 mana Teferi? I don't think they've
Yeah.
played it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's in
3
Time
mana
Reveler,
Teferis,
yeah.
sorry. Oh, just passing the turn though. Holding up. Looks like there's another subtlety in hand. Maybe
It's
over there.
probably safer.
Yeah, that's fair.
I might have flashed it in there. I don't know what you're afraid of.
The other Jace.
Like,
Or
that it unsummons
brazen-
one of them?
or instant speed brazen borrower. Because after you've attacked.
That's it, though.
Yeah. And even then you have the ability to block.
Yeah.
So
It's
like,
not like you're afraid of bolt or anything.
Yeah.
Like the chalice kind of locks things up.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's anything any reason to not just get it in there to, especially on the turn you're going to win, like
Right.
to not just immediately at the end of the turn just be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to win here. EE on 2?
To get rid of Rest in Peace?
I don't think I mean, your options are 0 and 2. Right?
Yeah.
So,
One leaves you with more mana too. I don't know what else Kai has in hand, but I think it might just be the Spell Pierce, maybe another land. Take out the Rest in Peace.
yeah, and both end up in exile because of how all that stuff works. And then Kai is just conceding the game here. Alrighty.
Yeah, Kino didn't even need the verdict. Drew into the ending. It's pretty timely. He had to find that in. He had basically 5 or 6 turns to naturally draw it there, or a white source.
Yes.
And he drew the
Also with
less
the
likely of the two, but
with
still a good answer.
yeah. Also with the kind of sitting on mana, not doing anything. With the Kahira sitting over in the companion zone, we also have the out of drawing a solitude, or we can just pitch one of the extraneous supreme verdicts. Although I think I like paying the 3 to get the Kahira in
100%.
hand.
Kahira does not matter too much in the matchup.
No, I think it's literally just there to be bought to be pitched to a solitude, or very maybe close out the game at the end.
Yeah, no, there are matchups where having a 3/2 is not terrible.
Yeah. Especially when it gives all of your solitudes +1/+1 in vigilance.
Oh yeah, that matters against burn.
Or your subtleties, little less relevant. I mean, gets them out of range of bolt.
They makes them trade with Curator of Mysteries too out of Living End.
It does.
It's relevant.
It does. Or rhinos. Out of rhinos.
So yeah, that out of rhinos.
I mean, I don't know.
Would not have guessed that one.
Why don't
You
you know
take a
this?
little bit of trample too.
3+1 is 4.
Yeah.
Well, no, you well,
You take 1 trample.
oh, I was talking about the subtleties.
The subtleties, no, you would trade.
Yeah.
You would trade.
Yeah, and with the solitudes, you would only gain 3 life, the normal amount, instead of the 4 that it's hitting for. Yeah,
You gain the 4 still.
yeah, you gain the 4,
But you take the 1.
but you take 1, so you effectively gain 3. And because damage all happens at the same time, cancels out.
Yeah.
Effectively gain 3.
But if there was an effect that said
Damage is
whenever you gain 4 life, something happens.
yeah, or like if somebody had had put. Okay, I think the only thing that does this is Jessica Thrice Reborn, but 3-mana Planeswalker has a 0 ability that whenever target creature deals damage, is it damage or combat damage? Jessica Thrice Reborn. Combat, right? Okay, I'm pretty sure it's combat
One of
damage.
the two.
Oh, just damage in general. So whenever Jessica says that whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player specifically, the damage is tripled. So in the case of a rhino trampling over, you would take 3. So, but the solitude would only take the normal quantity.
This is true. All right. Well, we might need, thanks to you, to find a third match here to show everyone.
You're welcome.
We'll see how far you can go reanimating Ilhards, but
yeah, and Big Papa Grizz's bacon spaghetti food fight served to you by the monkey.
Yeah, sure.
That's the name of the
We'll
deck.
go
That's what I really should put on there, but that's too ridiculous. And if I end up on feature match, I have to be able
It's
to show Fluffy something that he can
very long.
put on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, all right.
Right, we're back here for round number 2. This time I'm joined by
It's me, Will, NRG.
Hello. So we have Adam here who's playing Blue-White Hammer. I believe we saw him briefly on the floor last round against newcomer RJ. I'm not familiar with what they were playing, but we'll probably find out soon enough. It looks like no companions for either of our players here yet. Is always a good sign. A nice sigh of relief when you don't see the Yorion companion across the table.
Yorion Mirror is infinite content, though. So
It is. Yeah, we saw a lot of that over at the Energy this weekend. I mean, at some point, there's just going to be 2 4-color decks that are at the top of the table, and that's all you got to put on feature match. So that is the inevitable for today's meta. Yeah,
I just don't think there's much 4-color at all today.
today, yeah, for our meta, I don't think there's a single one.
People just we don't want.
There's some Bird and Tron, so probably a good thing that we're for all the 4-color heads out here. The turn 1 Esper Sentinel for Adam into a turn 1 Ignoble Hierarch for RJ. So we're both. Well, RJ is going to be ramping out here. What looks to be the start from Yawgmoth. We'll see what else is going on here then. The Inkmoth Springleaf Drum into a Stoneforge Mystic for Adam.
At this point, Cauldron Complete might be pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're assuming it's Yogg here, you're probably gonna be facing down a lot of blockers, but you do have the Inkmoth. So if you have something like Sigardizade or even Pure Steel Paladin, plus enough mana to reactivate the hammer.
I see a Stomping Ground.
This might not be Yawgmoth. It's possible still. I have seen the list. It's not out of the realm of possibility. But that is like the only card I can tell out of his hand. It looks like Colossus Hammer was the target off of the Stoneforge Mystic, so that is a known piece of information for both of our players.
Getting a lot of thought on this land drop too, though.
Yeah, I mean, access to 3 mana potentially. If this is some sort of Ponza deck, it's just going to be Prismatic Vista Pass.
Oh my god.
I don't think it's the Yawgmoth with the Vista, though. So we're on some other sort of Jund or green-red strategy. Adam with a silent clearing here. It has 2nd Stoneforge Mystic.
The card on Adam's side that is completely white because of glare, I'm almost 100% sure is a Springleaf Drum.
So yeah, we saw him use it last turn to make some mana. I don't think it's a Mox Opal.
Mox Opal would be pretty good.
Hammer would just be the best deck in the format, no question.
It's Unbanned Lures too.
Unbanned Luris as well.
Yeah, getting Cauldron here is actually sick because you just throw it into play right away.
Yep,
the Stoneforge.
The backup Stoneforge, yeah. And here's the Cauldron. Who would have thought mono white artifacts without Mox Opal ramping faster than the green-red deck? Across for 5, we're going to see Fetch a Vista.
So at this point, it looks like he already took the damage, so there's no combat tricks here.
Okay, yeah. Mono green, maybe? With a slight splash of red? I guess Vista doesn't give too many options. Maybe you don't want to fetch up a mountain. That's just gonna do it for RJ. Wow, okay.
Maybe he doesn't want to show any of the surprises yet.
I think so, yeah. I mean, showing the forests and an ignoble, I would like to believe that's just some Blood Moon Ponza variant. We see, yeah, hell yeah. Get the Null Rod Enthusiast Collector Oof. I think we saw Stormbreath Dragon in the sideboard.
I don't even know what that does.
It's a flying haste pro white dragon that
Oh yes,
when it becomes monstrous.
Yep.
Yep.
Like taps on flyers too, or is that something?
That's Thundermaw. Okay.
Thundermile.
Was the anti-lingering souls tech?
I miss old modern.
Yeah, that was sick. Those were both really played in standard for the most part, but I think one of the Milwaukee Energies I played against Ponza, and they had like a bunch of Stormbreath dragons, and it's like kind of hard for 4-color to deal with.
So we think this is Ponza?
I think so. Seeing the Stormbreath and then Collector Roof in the sideboard, we're seeing Furies. now in the main deck. Hopefully Force of Vigor is hiding out there somewhere.
Adam bringing in these blacksmith skills against this green red X deck.
Yeah, you can assume Force of Vigor, at least Bolt, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I hope so.
I mean, we saw Fury, so
Can't leave Bolt out of a red deck. Come on.
yeah, even the Menguchi what is it, Vivian combo deck. Even that plays Bolt, so there's room for Bolt in that deck. So
There's room for Bolt in a 4-color creature combo. Same thing you can fit in almost anything.
yep. I think it's only 2 bolts, but I mean 2 out of an 80, that's a combo deck, like you're saying, yeah. Pretty interesting strategy there. I haven't played too much with it, but it is like the ultra proactive 4-color variant.
Very awesome deck. I saw it this weekend. I didn't get to play against it, but somebody I saw playing it was doing pretty well with it. And it's just functions like 4-color until it wants to win the game.
Yeah,
4-color struggles to end the game quickly. So
it does. I saw the you see the Teamer Narset Dazen doing deck?
yes, that deck was awesome too.
Yeah, I saw it played at the tables a couple times, and then I think they got 9th or at least top 16.
Some sweet appearances from saw it, Dice Factory or whatever
Yeah.
they're calling it now with Magistrate Scepter.
Right. I thought that card was a new card. It turns out it's from Arcadian Masks.
Yep. They
I
got
had no
reprinted like
idea.
Core 21 or something.
Some random Corso.
Yeah. That card's sick. I didn't even know what it did until I read it for the
I-
first time this
yeah,
weekend.
Me too. It threw me off. There's some other cool cards like Core Tapper and
Yeah, Core Tappers.
those charge Tron pieces. I saw the Dice Factory player actually remove a counter from a blast zone
Yep.
to be able to kill constructs.
Yeah.
It was a pretty spicy play.
That I forget what it called, but removes a counter from a permanent you control and puts a charge counter or a +1/+1 counter on.
Oh, the power conduit.
Yeah, that card's sick with sagas and with neg1
Yep.
neg1 counters from y'all.
Oh, off sagas too.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
that's
sa-
insane.
So infinite Urza Saga.
Oh
tricks.
my god, you're playing Legacy there.
All right. Adam bleeding on a Giver of Runes while his opponent has 2 lanes. Stomp.
Okay, this is definitely.
This looks like Ponza.
I think so. No Karn either, right? We didn't see many artifacts. I think Karn and Pons is pretty solid.
Karn and Ponza sounds really cool.
Oh, it'd be busted in this matchup.
Yeah.
How do you lose?
Null Rod, pretty good card sometimes.
Turns out. Stoneforge Mystic. We'll see what Adam gets this time. There is one more Ponza player other than Erica at the shop we see. Gotta get the mirror match going one of these times. Adam's just gonna fetch up a hammer this time, so we might be looking for an attempt at a turn 3 kill, or maybe Adam's setting up for later turns with Ink Moth having Blacksmith skill up as well, as he's not under a lot of pressure for the time being.
Turning off an Ink Moth with a Blood Moon would be pretty sick here too.
Yeah, when your opponent's tapped out as well. Because Adam's on blue-white, right?
Yeah, blue
So he could have Spell Pierce.
Another stomp.
I thought our Ponzo player was just hard casting it at first and not casting the one from Adventure, but the stomp is respectable there. It's just getting the bodies off the table.
Hard casting the
Good.
please. Playing around Dranath Magistrate.
The tech. I mean, one of the Hammer players did have 4 Dranath at the sideboard. I saw that for the finals.
Saga. Now is the time to slam a Blood Moon.
Oh, Stone Rain plus the normal Blood Moon effect.
Claw Simmer. Looks like we're
Thanks,
playing a Pure Steel Paladin play here, but needing a double white for that is going to be
That might be
could
the deal breaker, yeah.
pat his own Ornithopter if he wanted to.
Wow, yeah. He could have done it here, right?
I did see it a path in
Yeah. He might have wanted to do that. RJ's going to play a 4th land. Do we see a Bloodbraid Elf here? Some payoff? Oh, well, 4/3 is not nothing.
Better than a gray ogre, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's got some additional text as well as also being a stomp. Well, here's double white.
I think that's silent clearing.
Yep, silent clearing. Backup Ornithopter. 3 cards left for Adam. It's like one of them is a blacksmith skill. Didn't get a great look.
And the
Here it is. All right.
construct coming down. It's currently a 3/3.
Yeah, just having any bodies here for Adam is going to be important. Being able to just deal with RJ's threats as they're not too menacing right now. It's just a couple of 4/3s. I can imagine there's probably some more removal spells in his hand if he's not playing out any other threats.
Trying to trade for this construct. Play blacksmith skill the construct if he wanted
And
to.
keep it alive, yeah.
If he does have blacksmith skill, I can't confirm that.
I saw some old border card. It might just be an old border path. That's a cigar
Cigar
to
Aid.
yeah. That's huge.
Well, he played out the hammer.
He did. He played it out as though he already had pure steel.
Yeah, that's
Which is a little
interesting.
strange.
That is weird to do into the presumably Force of Vigor.
Right. And you're also the saga's gonna come offline this turn after you draw, and he drew the cigar to Aid, so like just waiting a turn seems fun because you know you're gonna have a hammer in play anyways.
Even if you have Pure Steel Paladin, it is nice to maybe not against the red deck, but just have them as draws off of Pure Steel Paladin's effect.
Yeah.
They do replace themselves.
Adam's gonna come in for a little bit of damage. RJ is down to 12 with a couple fetches in play too. Adam having somewhat of a clock. It could get a little bigger here. I mean, there are a lot of artifacts in the deck that don't cost any colored mana. So this card is Aid come down. Forced for RJ. Oh, these wooded frontals don't mean anything. They're mountains.
Yep. Both this.
That's gonna stem the bleeding a little bit.
Got a little health buffer there. And can even he doesn't play the Bone Crusher, he's feigning something here, so
Yeah, I mean,
that would be
Okay.
Bone Crusher.
I mean, having 2 blockers is probably fine here, or at least one. And we still get to maintain somewhat of a clock.
Yep.
Adam could block with an Ornithopter, I suppose, but then Pure Steel looks really bad. But you also are still a planes away from casting Pure Steel, so it's really how much you value being at 12 rather than 16.
He's got the silent clearing in play, it's kind of glared out.
Yeah, but Blood Moon is in play.
Never mind. We got maybe he'll draw March or other one.
He could. He could draw March and need a card to pitch, but I think he has that. I do see the path.
I don't mind passing the construct here.
Pathing to Ornithopter.
Pathing to
would've been nuts.
Ornithopter.
That would have been a very
Like maybe just taking 4 that turn and then the following turn go to block and path.
Yeah, you get way more value. Even if there isn't a Blood Moon in play, you just get more value that way.
Yeah.
But since there's a Blood Moon, I think that's a necessity. This is main phase? Beginning of your pre-combat main phase, so you need to exile a card. And that's gonna drain for 2, I believe, so sending both players to 14. Just a Lonely Arbor Elf for RJ.
Another one.
Oh, not
now
lonely at all.
Clothis is active.
Oh, wow, that's big, actually. Getting to come across for 12. Posing lethal for the next turn.
If he wanted to, he could just path the Bone Crusher to turn off.
He can path the Clothos thing. That probably saves more damage.
Yeah.
Because it's just gonna keep
That's true.
draining for 2. Finding RJ another green source. Not sure if there's any triple green cards, but
I think you just have to take 8 here. It's like you losing your construct is the only thing you got.
I think so. Yeah, agree. You're really just hoping to spike.
You draw like Shadow
hammer.
Spear.
Yeah.
Shadow Spear makes it so the construct becomes a 4/4.
Sure.
Starts buffering life total more, and then just kind of go from there.
I mean, RJ with one card in hand could be just a bolt too. That, or do we have the Spring Lift Drum player? Is that the?
Oh,
That's the
something I believe. Still a little hard to see it, but
Okay, so RJ would have to bolt the construct in response to any artifact being played, if that were the case. But I guess Adam's gonna choose to chump here. Take 4 down to 10. He's got to have another creature, right? Core Outfitter? Okay. Wow, Adam's going to scoop him up. And we'll head to game 3 here. See if RJ, now knowing what he's up against, can mulligan for something like a turn 2 Blood Moon. It looks like Adam did actually take out most of his sagas. Well, 3 of them, I think.
maybe just assumed it was Bonza.
Yeah, and then just happened to draw the one of Saga and got really hard.
Yep.
But it did make him a construct. It wasn't a total dead card, but it could certainly be worse. So Adam for sure knows he's against Ponza now. I'm not sure if that's going to change too many of his sideboard decisions, if any.
Adam was really incentivized to not really be on any sagas now. Probably.
Yeah, I know. Like when I play Amulet, and it's like a actual Blood Moon deck, like a 4 of Blood Moon, maybe even more with
Yeah.
Magus. I just take him out.
Assuming RJ's on a plentiful number of Maguses and Blood Moon,
I would
But-
assume so. Yeah.
probably even some Alpine Moons just for sagas.
You never know. You can never have enough Tron hate.
Yeah.
You actually can. You can definitely have too much Tron.
Yeah. Force the Vigor also hitting Urza Saga.
I don't even know. I think we only saw RJ bring in a few cards.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Force was one of them. I mean, we'll find out. Certainly enough green cards to pitch. It's like Adam making a couple changes here. Maybe moving more sagas out. Oh no, taking out Core Outfitter because it's a double white card. Oh, it looks like Esper Sentinel actually was the card that was taken out. Urza Saga might be still a 4 of in his presented list.
Being on the play, it is. Urza Saga is significantly better on the play than the draw against the Blood Moon deck
Oh yeah.
because there's no ramp at all. Our World Utopia Sprawl, you can actually get a card off of it.
RJ having the one of Collector Oof makes me wonder if he's on any sort of like creature tutor package or if he's just hoping to draw. He looks like Cinder Vines actually is
That's
one of the cards
some-
brought in.
That's
That's pretty good on turn 2. On the play, like
Yeah.
Adam could just play a bunch of cards and then get pinged for a few times.
Does it deal 1 or 2 damage on each non-creature spell?
I think it's just 1. 2 would be pretty nuts.
I think when its sack ability deals damage when it destroys an artifact.
I think it does 2. I think that shocks.
Yeah.
Adam has not presented yet, or has he taken a look at 7?
I hope RJ wins this so I don't have to get paired against Panza.
That's probably the worst matchup. Worst matchup for you there, a fellow Urza Saga gamer.
Yeah.
Not a lot of lands, or no, that is Windswept Heath, Hallowed Fountain. So 2 lands for Adam. Like Moth 2 potentially, as well as a Springleaf Drum. So a lot of mana on this hand.
This hand will cast the spells it draws, but he does not want to.
Going back.
He probably wants an explosive play here because
Hmm.
getting getting to turn 3 and 4 is when Ponza starts to kind of come up.
Yeah, I mean they've usually put some roadblock on your mana by then, whether it be a pillage or blood moon.
Yeah, but if Adam just mulls to a clean turn 2, turn maybe 3 if he wants to, turn 3 kill, that's fine.
It's pretty hard to do that, even just because RJ's deck is a bolt deck.
Yeah.
The turn 2, the further you mull, the harder it is to be able to have the combo that early and have insurance like blacksmith skill. But a basic plane, not a bad sight against the Blood Moon deck. It's like Giver, Ornithopter.
Probably want Giver and Ornithopter.
Yeah, it's like it's a pretty solid turn 1 play.
Got a Stoneforge in there too, so you could protect a Cauldra.
Yep.
I think you go for Cauldra in this game plan. He doesn't have any removal for that, presumably.
I don't think so. Yeah. Outside of something like Dead Gone, specifically the Gone effect. Not sure what
Oh,
else.
this is the mold of 5?
I think so. Yeah. Oh,
I missed the 6.
it's just turn 1 Giver Ornithopter. Oh, we didn't keep Ornithopter. Okay. Choosing to not have an artifact. Giver is
Playing towards Metalcraft, I guess.
yeah.
Playing towards.
Oh, we kept double Giver.
More interesting. Is this a 1 land?
I think so.
Oh my.
At least it's a plains. If you're going to keep 1 land in this matchup, I think it's got to be that one.
Yeah.
You attack for 1 with the Giver then?
Oh. I mean, it can't protect itself,
Right.
and the other one can't protect it, so I think so. Unless, like,
As a flash 1-drop creature.
I don't know. You never know what's up Ponza's sleeves. He'll Pyroclasm if he needs to.
There's Cindervines. Pyroclasm would have been insane here.
Yes. Adam reading Cindervines.
As you should. It's not the most common spell, but I mean, Ponza definitely plays this card. I mean,
Yeah, dealing 1 damage on casts and 2 damage on sack. Adam looks like maybe missed another land drop here, but
he's found a hammer. He's a little far away from Pure Steel, just in the fact that he needs a second white source, and there might be a Blood Moon coming down next turn.
also artifact count
Yes,
is very
that's it.
low.
Not having the also now we're gonna come in with a Giver. But we didn't last turn. I'm not the biggest fan of that play. Since you didn't commit to the line last turn, you're already gonna be a point behind, but you're catching up, so
Yep. Maybe we should have picked up this deck was a Gruul deck based on the forests of choice here. The Gruul
Guild
Clothis.
Turn 3 Clothis, not as strong as Blood Moon, but
Getting a lot of devotion in play too, though. Cindervine. Oh,
already up to 4. There's an Ornithopter, that artifact.
swinging just 1 giver. I think that's fine. I don't disagree too hard with that. Pure Steel, rocking in hand. Might just play out. I don't know. Actually, it's rough. This is a rough spot for Adam being on 1 land. Especially if sometimes Ponzo plays like Stone Rain.
That is Bloodbraid Elf, I believe.
Yeah, the borderless one.
So we're gonna get a Cascade here into a Blood Moon.
Arbor
Nope,
Elf.
just an elf. 2, 4, 6, 7. Clothis is online though. Oh, does RJ not see it? I don't think he did.
Here's it. Cloth is over by his other enchantments.
He does, yeah. That would lead me to believe he thinks it is still an enchantment, but is in fact a creature. Yeah, because it would have gotten in for 3 there. There's only 1 blocker.
Some sick tech here Adam can do. If he wants to block Bloodbraid Elf, can throw red, both givers with each other, block it.
So Adam's still not finding another mana source here, whether it be Springleaf Drum or even any land at this point.
Adam's taking the closeness for himself. His opponent can't have it.
Yeah, what? Is he just taking a look at it, taking a read it?
Controls it. Taking a gander at it.
Making sure that it is a creature, I suppose. He still might want to path it. I think I'd path my Ornithopter here. Especially if we do have Pure Steel in hand already.
Well, if you have Pure Steel and you're playing towards it, you probably have to path that giver.
Yeah.
Because your artifact.
You need the right. Yeah. You still need artifacts.
But this game, even though it looks super in RJ's favor, Adam can top deck Ink Moth Nexus or just another planes, preferably another planes. Get the Stoneforge down, maybe tutor for a Shadow Spear, and he has Hammer already in hand, so then he can just following turn go land the equipments, and then next turn, if he's still alive, hopefully, right, just swinging for what is that? 11 flying, not flying, trample lifelink.
It's pretty solid. Yeah, and then, until a Blood Moon comes down, or Blood Moon like effect, a lot of Adam's top decks are still very live and giving him a lot of opportunities. But until we find some mana, I think we're going to be struggling here. RJ realizes he can attack now.
He can also just close his block Blood Braid and pro red each other.
Yep. I think that's what we'll see here.
Hilton Blood Braid, though, does keep Clothis offline. You just never have to worry about
it. But you lose one of your givers?
Well, if you just
put
both givers in front of.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, 2 givers pretty strong.
I'm pretty sure he's only on 2 as well. Most lists don't go far past that. Hopefully he chose pro red because I see a Fury in his hands.
Oh, gonna kill him. That's still strong.
I actually don't mind main phase wanting that Fury just to tap out those givers and then swing in for a whole bunch.
Are you swinging for 7? Maybe if you got in for 3 the turn before.
Yes, that would. I mean, I'll leave that.
Now you're just trying to keep him off artifacts.
I mean, if he's playing towards Pure Steel, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I think Adam might have the Blacksmith skill here, so maybe he's trying to save his Ornithopter. Decides against it, though. It's going to untap. Find a land. Adam taking the glasses off.
Opening all his eyes.
His mind's eye. Under Torch of Defiance. We'll see if he chooses to Flame Slash here. That's just going to get Blacksmith skilled. So Chandra's going to go to 1 loyalty, still stick around. Might have been better just to exile a top card. There's still a few mana.
This Cindervines, I think, was supposed to hit Adam for 1 there, but again.
Oh, off of the Blacksmith, yeah. I think we did actually get that point of damage across from the Cindervines. Adam's down to 17 now.
Just got that. Cindervines, although came out very early, still relevant.
Yeah, I mean, it's still 1 damage and still making it awkward for Adam just being able to blow up even a Saga if he draws that.
Yeah. Response to the trigger just to keep him off the mana.
Did he not come in with Blood Braid there? That seems like a mistake. Adam down to 15, finally finding a Hallowed Fountain or any land here.
Adam does play this Pure Steel here. He will be able to kill the Fury because he can.
Oh, he can give it protection.
Yeah, if he blocks with Giver and Pure Steel,
right.
1 Giver can protect the Pure Steel, the other can protect the other Giver.
Right. Yeah, two givers making combat really hard. Now having the Cauldron though next turn.
Yeah, he can just stick that as the indestructible equipment it is. Probably protect the Stoneforge pretty well with two givers, I'd hope.
Yeah. Yet all of RJ's removals so far has been sorcerer speed. Pretty unfortunate for these givers.
And tutoring off this Holothon, that was pretty interesting. I know he has the mana leak in hand. I'm pretty sure that's what that was.
It is, yep.
Getting the second white source stable when RJ is over here drawing functionally two cards a turn.
Well, he just top decked the Hollow Fun. He didn't fetch it.
Oh, he didn't?
No, that
I
was
thought
just
he
the draw
fetched
for
it.
turn. Yeah, I think it's just the two cards in his graveyard.
Yeah, I thought he fetched it.
So have we exiled? We activated our Chandra?
But hit the prismatic.
Oh,
Still.
it hit a Vista, okay.
Blocking with the Stoneforge. Probably still gonna pro Reddit, but
Yeah. Adam should be at like 5 here because the Bloodbird Elf should have attacked a few extra times. A little interesting to see. It being held back sometimes and then attacking other times. I think you really have to commit one way or another just to maximize damage or maximize the likelihood of hammered creature.
giving Hammer more times to just get back in the game is not what we want to do.
No, you need to give them as little as possible.
Everything. Running the first giver. I think you need a pro red Stoneforge first. That is your most valuable threat here. You don't have to pull in. Ignoble.
RJ's still at a healthy 20 now, thanks to the closest over these turns.
Yeah, it's actually super important that Adam's keeping few cards out of his graveyard because Clothis.
Right.
Clothis is close to just killing him. Especially with the Chandra ticking up each turn.
Yeah, basically 4 damage and 2 cards coming to RJ every turn, and as well as 2 life. So long as there are cards in the graveyard. Here's a bolt off the top. Just get the giver.
Bolting face isn't bad here.
Yeah.
So it really does make it just.
This would have been lethal by now. That bolt would have been lethal.
You can Cinder Vines the Ornithopter and swing out. And I think that's lethal.
2 mana from Adam.
Putting in this.
Yep. A really good blocker of Cauldron complete. Wow, actually just forcing RJ to reconsider that attack and just choose not to. I think with an opponent at 6, it's not going to get much better than this.
Yeah, it's assuming your biggest creature's Fury and Cloth is getting blocked that turn. You're still hitting in for 4, and then he's going to be at 4 because the Ornithopter would have gotten Cindervine. Pretty sure Cindervine's its artifact or enchantment.
Here's a bolt that'll finish off Adam. All right. RJ taking a few extra turns here, making a little unnecessary actions, but getting there in the end. Blood Moon taking it all the way down against Hammer Time. Pretty unfortunate mull to 5 situation there for Adam, but still managing